This journey, it called on every part of me and every past and parallel part of me, because we all were absolutely pushed to our limits. In order for this activation to be successful, our group had to be working as one. We were shut down by the police, actually, on the Giza Plateau. But what I want to share with you is the story of what happened that day. When the meditation had finished moving through me, and I could feel the energy had grounded, everything had landed in the earth grid consciousness, I saw before me at the portal of the Great Pyramid, but I did not expect to receive this confirmation. To activate these layers of the earth grid consciousness and to know that it was successful is such a gift. When you say that you are here for peace, and you choose to contribute your energy to that, it means something. It's not just words. When your heart is there, it means something. Hello, my name is Eluña. I'm an Akashic channeler and a psycho-spiritual healer and teacher, and you are currently finding me on the coast of the Mediterranean Ocean. I am still recovering after the journey that I led through Egypt in May, and what a journey it was. It was absolutely life-changing. It really started when I very first started planning it so long ago, last year, at the end of the first journey that I led, and I truly could not understand at the time what this journey was going to mean. I did not, and I actually was not capable of being aware of just how much this journey was going to give to me and to the people who joined, but also to the earth herself and to the entire collective of humanity. At the time that I was planning this journey, I had no idea that it was going to be so momentous, that it was going to be history being made in quite a significant way as it was. And it simply is just because my ego was not capable of that level of responsibility. It would have been way too much. And so when I very first came to Egypt in May this year, I went to the Sphinx first. The Sphinx is always the place to begin any journey, as she is a guardian of that space, and she opens up the pathway essentially through Egypt. She has the ability to open up interdimensional pathways and therefore journeys through interdimensions as well. But especially when it comes to traversing the physical landscape of Egypt, she is the guardian, and so I felt called to going to her. When I went to see her, I asked her, just from her perspective, what this journey was really going to mean and what it was about. She shared many things with me about Mother and what it was meaning for our collective, which I will say a lot more about very soon. But the main piece that was very personal and that quite shocked me, actually, when she said it, was that this journey was the beginning of my path of mastery. And I did laugh in disbelief because I said, you mean I haven't already started it? I haven't already been on the path? This is the beginning? Because it has already felt like a lot that I've been moving through. But now being on the other side of this journey, I fully understand what she meant. And I'm deeply grateful that she did prepare me in that way, because this journey, it called on every part of me and every past and parallel part of me to show up fully. It called on every lesson that I've ever learned and really brought me to my limits and to my edges so that I could expand more and be able to hold the container and hold all of the energy that came through and be able to disseminate that energy accordingly, both to people in our groups and also just to the earth herself through a variety of means, through the Great Pyramids, through the activation portals that we went through, and many other places. So that's where the journey really started for me, was when I was with the Sphinx in May. That same day, actually, after I visited her, it rained very unexpectedly in Egypt. It never does that in May. And it hardly rains really at all, but especially not May. May is one of the least likely months for rain to come. But just a few hours after I saw her, as the sun was setting, I saw her at the sunrise. And as the sun was setting is when it started raining. And that meant so much to me because it told me that we really are, our group and all of the people, all of you who chose to participate from afar and remotely, we were all bringing life back to this land, bringing the gift and the love of the mother back to this land. And that comes in the form of water and comes in the form of rain. And there it was, confirmation on the very first day, the setting of the first sun. So that was a really beautiful and powerful way to open everything. And from there, I met with the group in Aswan, which is in southern Egypt, and we spent some time with Isis at her temple, at both sites of her temple. She opened up a lot of space within our hearts, and she allowed us to let go of a lot of grief, both on just an individual part, but also on the part of the collective, most definitely. And very specifically, the grief of the feminine, the grief of the mother, was very keenly felt and being released through our visitation with her. And I'm deeply honored and grateful to Isis. It was a beautiful way to open things, because through that release, our group was then able to bring in a new sense of safety. And that was necessary for the rest of our journey, because we went through several ice baths, and we also went through a temescal, which is a ceremonial sweat lodge that we built and constructed on the side of the Nile River. As a group, we built it. We built a temple. And without that level of safety that we got from the first space that we went to with Isis, it would have been very difficult to continue, because we all were absolutely pushed to our limits of sleep, our lack of eating at strange times, and then just all of the work that we were doing physically and energetically together was immense. So that gift from Isis was incredible, to be able to have this new level of safety. And it worked with us through all of the other temples that we went through. After the temescal, we went to other temples along the Nile, and then we ended up at Dendera, which is the temple of Hathor. Many people were able to let go of some very deep wounds regarding the mother in that space. Hathor is like a representation of the Great Mother, and so people being able to go to that temple with that understanding of how Hathor interacts with us and how we can invite her in as a mother figure was very powerful for people. There were many beings in our group who were able to release things with Hathor, and she is now able to watch over them and relieve those people of the wounds that they were carrying regarding the mother. That was a very, very deep activation. The experience that I had there was extremely powerful. I was able to help reactivate that space, and that really deserves a full story of its own. So I will share more about that later. But we were able to reactivate that temple site for all beings. So once we had finished at Dendera, we visited Abydos and the Temple of Nut, the Chapel of Nut, really, and had a visit with Osiris. That was a very interesting experience. And then from there, we went through Karnak. We visited the Chapel of Sekhmet, and Sekhmet is a very beloved being in my life. She is the lion-headed goddess that you may have seen before. She is one of the divine emanations of the feminine in Egypt and one of the emanations of the Divine Mother. So she is a representation of Kali Ma, essentially. That's, I think, the best way to understand her, the equivalent. She is deeply compassionate and also deeply healing through the anger that she allows people to experience. You are able to be healed through that. And so that is what she invites people into who go to visit her. And the level of grace, the amount of grace that I feel being with her in her presence is really unparalleled in any other place that I have gone to in Egypt and any other temple. Her presence is so clear and so strong in that chapel because you can't go there. It's not open to the public, and you really, it's a very difficult task even to try and get a private visit. You almost can't do it, but we were very fortunate and we were able to visit her. And because that space is so well maintained and guarded, because there are not many people going in, her presence is so, so strong. It's so easy to feel her there, and she will communicate with you. And it was just such a blessing. And she shared with me that after visiting her, we as a group were meant to go immediately to Luxor Temple and to move through Luxor Temple to reactivate it, because Luxor Temple is a representation of humanity. It is the only temple in the world that is built in the shape of a human. It's built, when you look at it from above, it's built in the shape of a walking human. So that temple and the codes that it holds for humanity are immense, and they change consciousness. So moving from Karnak into Luxor, it was a way of moving from the mind into the heart and bringing the heart into the higher mind. So having that exchange and that coherence taking place within the individual, but also on behalf of the collective, is what was happening with my group. And that is what Sekhmet led me to. I will say again, that was a day when our group was really being pushed to the max, because we were very, very tired from all of the days of waking up early. We had not eaten breakfast yet by the time we were going to Luxor, and it was a really big call to be able to bring ourselves to going there, because it was also incredibly hot that day. It was, I think, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It was very, very hot. But we did it. And the activation that took place in Luxor, I would say it is absolutely in the top most mystical experiences of my life that I have ever had. It was immense what took place there. So I will also share more about that at another time. Once we had finished with moving through the temple spaces, our group made its way to Cairo. So we came back to Cairo, and the first place that we went to was the Serapeum. That is a space full of mystery. I encourage you to look it up if you do not know what I'm talking about. The Serapeum in Saqqara. Incredible. I will again share more about that. We were able to visit there, and the other place that we were able to go to during a private visit late that night was the Step Pyramid, which I also call the Crystal Pyramid. So some of you may have participated in a meditation while we were there that night. That was an incredibly powerful activation for humanity and humans' DNA. That again is a really, I must tell the full story, not in this introduction. It was incredibly powerful. And the group, in order for this activation to be successful, our group had to be working as one. We had to be working in unison. We had to be breathing in unison and using one mind, beating as one heart together. And we were doing that for a very long time, much longer than my human ego would have expected. It was close to an hour or an hour and a half that we were breathing very strongly in unison. We started with one breath work to activate and open up our channels so that we were working as one with our energy fields. And then we moved into dragon's breath for almost an hour. It was very strong. Very, very strong. And it called on each person's willpower to be there and to really allow that will to move into the will of God, so that now you're allowing God to be what is breathing through you, so that you don't feel like you're trying so hard, so to speak, because that's never the way. We cannot use our willpower to have dominion over anything. We surrender our will so that we are working with the power and the dominion of God. And that is what we were able to practice and do that evening in the Step Pyramid. And we were also successful, so to speak, in that space. And again, I will share the whole story. Once we had finished that activation, the following day, we were able to visit the Sphinx to say hello and receive a blessing. And then that night, we went into the Great Pyramid. just before going into the Great Pyramid. That is when the walking meditation on the Giza Plateau was being streamed, and we were having a walking meditation as a group before we actually went into the Great Pyramid. During that time, if you were participating on YouTube, I want to say thank you, and I also want to say I'm sorry for any of the disruptions of what it may have caused to you, because we were very quickly shut down by the police, actually, on the Giza Plateau. So it was all going okay. And then once the Minister of Antiquities and Tourism was told about who I am, that person called and told the police who were present to not allow us to record any longer. So we stopped using the video and had to turn everything off. You may have been disrupted in myriad ways because of that. And the only thing we were able to save was we did keep secretly recording the audio. So they did not know that I was recording the audio, but we kept doing that. And so what we have been able to do is make that audio available privately on my website. So we will not be putting it on YouTube, simply because we want to continue to be able to come here to Egypt, and it is easy to have that privilege taken away. I'll just leave it at that. Especially because the Ministry of Antiquities now knows who I am. We knew this day would come. We just didn't know it was going to come in the middle of our walking meditation on the Giza Plateau. So that meditation is available on the Circle website, and we will put the link for that down below. But what I want to share with you is the story of what happened that day. When I was preparing for the walking meditation, it was when we were still driving in the bus to actually arrive to the plateau. I was tuning in to my guides and my higher self, calling everyone in. I was gridding the space energetically and just kind of aligning things with all of the masters in the unseen realm. And all of the beings who are supporting us, the Arturians, the Syrians, the Lemurian Council, as well as the Atlantean Council of Ascension, that is what I now call them. Talking with all of them, and again, gridding the space, dragons, many beings, all of the beings to help with this, because this activation on the Giza Plateau was a primary piece of the activation of the Earth Grid consciousness. It was where and how we were going to align everything energetically to bringing in this new layer to the Earth Grid. And I didn't necessarily know what that meant. I just knew that that was what was going to happen, but I've never done that before, so I didn't know what that was going to look like. As I was calling everyone in and aligning everything and just getting my own channel in alignment, White Buffalo Woman came through, which was very surprising because I'm in Egypt, and she was honestly kind of the last person that I would have thought to. And she noticed that I was surprised, and she said to me, "This is my Earth, and the Earth Grid consciousness that you're activating is deeply tied to me. So of course I'm going to be here to assist you with this, because this is all, I am connected to all of this." And it did feel very obvious after she said that of course she would be involved in this. And I actually, to be honest, I felt a little foolish for not having called her in before. It almost felt a little disrespectful that I hadn't thought about that, but she was completely forgiving. She did not hold that against me in any way. And what she told me after coming through and after gridding things and aligning things accordingly, and giving me downloads of information just for my higher self to know what to do and where to walk and how to lead, essentially. None of that being consciously known in my mind. I can just feel that she is downloading information into me. When she finished that, she said to me, "Upon successful completion of this activation, you will receive very obvious signs of your success that come from me, that come from White Buffalo Woman." And essentially the energy of that was, you can't mistake it. You're going to know without a doubt if it was successful or not. That was the energy. I felt very grateful for that, because that was absolutely not something that I expected, and I would not have asked for that either, but it was such a blessing to have received that information. Then when we actually started the meditation, just with everything happening and with the police and everything else, I completely forgot about White Buffalo Woman. I had forgotten that she had come through, about what she had said, all of it. Then I'm just in trance, moving through the meditation, leading everyone, walking through it. When we actually came around the other side of the Great Pyramid, we started in front of the middle pyramid. And if you choose to do the meditation on the website, you will hear this and you'll actually see it as well. You'll see part of it when we can still film. We started in front of the middle pyramid, made our way along the side of that, and then we were walking through the plateau, went to one side of the back half of the Great Pyramid, and then walked clockwise around the entire Great Pyramid to end essentially back where we were, but this time on the other half of where we had started. And that was starting and ending right in front of the back side of the Great Pyramid, where this doorway is, this old portal entryway that used to be accessible, that is just kind of blown out now. You'll see it if you go to the website. We came back to that place and ended there. When the meditation had finished moving through me and I could feel the energy had grounded, everything had landed in the earth grid consciousness, I was coming back into myself. And when I was guided to opening my eyes, I saw before me at the portal of the Great Pyramid 3 white sacred animals. On the right side, sorry, it was just very emotional to see it. On the right side was a white guardian dog of Anubis, and on the left side, there were 2 white doves. That was immediately the confirmation I knew from White Buffalo Woman. Her words came back to me in that moment when I saw those animals, because white animals are, of course, her calling card. And to see these 2 doves of peace and this white guardian dog of Anubis present there, knowing that everything that we had been moving through as a group and everything that we have been moving through as a collective, for that moment, to activate these layers of the earth grid consciousness and to know that it was successful, is such a gift. I don't even have words for it. I didn't even expect that I would know if it was successful. I really just went in fully trusting, knowing that I was there for a reason, knowing that I would know what to do, and fully trusting that. But I did not expect to receive this confirmation. And it is such a gift and so beautiful that the divine can reflect this to us, is open to reflecting to us that our efforts mean something, that when we say we are regridding something, we really know that it's being regridded. When we are led by the divine will reflect to you your success, so to speak, just to use that word. It was absolutely magical. It was absolutely magical. And our group was in tears and laughter. All of us were, because it was just incredible to be a part of this and to be a witness to that, and to know that even if there were many people walking alongside me who were also on YouTube and they couldn't hear my words all the time, and even without that, it was successful, because the number of you who chose to align your energy to this happening is what made it possible. Your intention and your pure heart to show up and contribute your heart energy there is what made this possible. And I want to tell you, the whole time I had thought it was a layer of the earth grid consciousness, and it wasn't. It was 3. It was 3 layers of the earth grid consciousness. Now, I don't really know what that means. I can't tell you right now what that means. I just know that it's life-changing, that it's part of how this earth and our collective consciousness is evolving. It is immense what has happened. So, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told my group here in Egypt. If you have not already done so, please celebrate. Please celebrate your heart. Please celebrate your intention to be a part of this in every way that you could have been a part of it, even if you were not able to be there the day that we were doing the meditation, even if you forgot that that meditation was happening. If you at any point said, I want to help with that, please know that your energy was felt by me and keenly felt by that space and by all of the beings that were supporting us. And it happened. It more than happened. My guides are saying it more than happened because it wasn't just one layer. It was 3. And yes, I will absolutely tune into that and find out what that means. When I digest everything from this journey, I will tune into that and find out actually what that means. What are the implications of those 3 new layers? But for now, I really just want you to celebrate yourself, to acknowledge your heart, to acknowledge your choice and the purity of that choice, because it means something. When you say that you are here for peace and you choose to contribute your energy to that, it means something. It's not just words. When your heart is there, it means something. It means evolution, and it means the creation of peace on this planet. So thank you. Thank you for your heart. And as I said, the meditation is available on my website. So if you would like to, you can stay seated and do it if you want to, or you can just know that it's a good time to celebrate. Because there is a lot coming to this planet now that we have been able to calibrate everything that we have, to synthesize and converge various timelines, and to heal a lot within the Earth grid structure. I will be sharing so much more about this journey, every place that we went to, and all of the activations that we were able to participate in. I will go into detail in all of that in coming times. I just wanted to be able to tell you and share with all of you that I am safe, I am very well, and I am currently integrating and celebrating still, and you will hear a lot more from me very soon. Until then, may you remember your magic today.